And guess what? You're not paying off your landlord's mortgage. You're paying yours, and you're building equity in an asset. Now, today with me, I have my friend Brian, who went through a similar situation. He's going to talk to you about what happened to him and how he rebuilt his credit.
What happened to me was I got into a house when I was 18. I had a 10% first and a 9% second. I was paying $3,600 a month. It was $320,000 home that I purchased. I rented out rooms. At 18 years old, I knew that buying a real estate asset was probably one of the most important things that I could do in order for long-term gain. I don't want to work until I'm 77. I want to own as much real estate as possible. Economy busted in 2010, 2011, and I found myself stuck where I just bought a new home with my wife. We just got married. I was doing a short sale, my first home that I bought, and it ruined my credit. So I went down to about a 400 credit score. Come back from that, I saved up $100 a month for 2 years, got a secure credit card for $2,000, get enough credit built to be able to get a travel credit card. Through that for 2 years, I used that card, making sure that I paid just my utilities and then immediately paid it off with direct deposits. I was able to build enough credit. Now I had credit. I took out that $10,000 from my 401k. I was able to use that as a down payment on another property. And then I was able to take out my stocks and use that as the additional funds for my down payment. We didn't think we were going to be able to afford any of those payments. We ended up renting out our other property for more than what the mortgage was, because the great thing about real estate, our values constantly increase. So now we had this equity in our home. We refied at the time, and now our payment went down because it was worth more than what it was worth before. My credit was better. We had more money in the bank because we were doing better at our jobs over time. Through that, we now own multiple properties. I rent out rooms in my house, so both are rental properties, and now I have a ton of write-offs. So I'm actually getting more money back owning 2 properties. I make more than when I lived in one house and was working 3 retail jobs because real estate fell apart. So if you don't think that you can buy a house, I'm telling you, you can. You need to work with a lender to find out your purchasing power, figure out how to clean up your credit, which Tim has a lot of really great resources. Go ahead and put down in the chat, just pay resources in the chat. If you want resources on how to clear up your credit, resources on what your purchasing power is and how much you can afford with your different assets that you have to be able to buy a home. And then also what options that you have available that are currently out there on the market. Once you know those things, you can work with Tim to go out and start looking at houses, and then you just put in offers, and then you just buy a house. Figuring out how to float the house for the rest of that can be scary, especially if you're used to a certain payment that you're making now. Making some small sacrifices, improving your situation, all of these things give you the ability to own multiple pieces of real estate, build an asset, have something for retirement where you're not relying on the government for Social Security. Really get to a point to where you can work less because you make more.
Work smarter, not harder. What a story. So if you like what Brian said, be sure and like and follow me below, and see ye for RE, timsHomeTour.com. You could be a buyer too and stop paying your landlord's mortgage.